Hey guys, welcome to my One Shot Wonder channel. I'm Lizzie, the loudmouth lesbian, and you're watching The Safe Place out there. So I've noticed that there is an abundance of videos pertaining to how to adjust to college and how to get used to going from a senior to a freshman, and that's kind of what everybody focuses on. But I feel like it's important for you guys to understand the struggles that can come before going to college, before your move-in day and before you get settled down and you make all these friends and you're ready for the first day of class. It's time for somebody to show you what it's really like to prepare for college, because it's hard. So here is a little insight into my story and how I got to college. I hindered myself in not doing enough research on a lot of other colleges. I missed a lot of deadlines for Moorhead because I finally decided, when I had decided to go to Moorhead, it had been February or March that I was sure this is where I wanted to go. So I had missed a lot of deadlines for scholarships that were due way before I had even looked at Moorhead. I honestly hadn't even seen anything about Moorhead like at their campus until at least December or January. And then I finally decided to switch from Louisville to Moorhead. I had already been accepted into Louisville. I did not know if I had gotten scholarships, but I knew that I would be getting something because of my GPA in high school. But that's as far as that went. So switching to Moorhead was very frantic because I realized that Moorhead was really where I wanted to go, and I wasn't prepared for that. So I had to rush to meet deadlines for my scholarship applications and rush to meet deadlines for roommate applications and picking my major, scheduling. I was rushing towards everything, just kind of diving in head first without really being prepared. One of the things that I do wish that I would have done is I wish that I kept my options open early on rather than deciding that I wanted to go to Louisville, because if I would have kept Moorhead on my radar, I could have been looking out for Moorhead State University specific scholarships that were offered throughout the years. And whenever I decided solely on Louisville, I threw scholarships away. So I regret that I didn't keep my eyes open to possibilities of going to a different school. So that's always important when you're looking to choose a college. You have to decide what your top 3 options are, or your top 5 options, not I'm gonna go here and that's where I'm staying, because I had no idea about Moorhead. I really hadn't even looked into it that much until I was drugged to a college fair, and then I got really interested in the idea of coming to Moorhead and experiencing Moorhead and all they had to offer. So I regret that I didn't experience that before, because I probably missed out on a lot of opportunities to get scholarships and make my life just a little bit easier. Another big problem that I had is I really doubted myself. I was scared because I never really gave myself the confidence in, you can go to college, you can do it, you can graduate, you can get through it. And I felt like I couldn't do it. Everything started to pile on. I started to get incredibly overwhelmed, and I felt like I was getting swallowed in this pit of I can't do it bullshit attitude. So I got stuck. And for the longest time, I really considered not going. I really considered working my ass off and saving up some money and moving states. I had really decided that I was gonna move states. I was gonna pack up and I was gonna leave, because I was so scared that I wasn't gonna be able to make it through college. And I didn't want to put myself into this god-awful amount of debt, not really knowing, will I even get out with a degree? There was no point in me doing that, and I was really scared. So for the longest time, I thought that I wasn't gonna go. But fortunately, I had decided to, keep up with my emails, see what was, what was gonna happen. And I had this email saying that I owed the school money, which I didn't understand because when I went to SOAR, I was free and clear. Like free and clear, had money coming back to me. It was like $300 at SOAR. They said that it was going to come back to me. So I was really confused when I got this email. That said that I owed them money and that I had to set up a payment plan. It didn't make any sense. So I thought, this is a sign. There's no way that I can pay this money before August 26th. So I kept making an excuse in my head. This wasn't meant to be. But for some reason, I latched on to, maybe I have to take something in my own hands. I can't rely on a sign to tell me whether or not I'm supposed to try to further my educational career. That's not a sign that you wait for. You have to decide if you're going to continue your education, whether it be through work experience or trade schools or college. You have to decide if you're going to continue to learn, if your brain is going to continue to soak up knowledge that's going to help you prosper in your future life. And so I found an alert on my school page that I had to complete a master promissory or something. No, I can't announce it, and I still honestly can't tell you what it is. But I know that I had it done, and I also had my entrance counseling done for FAFSA. So I had all of that done. So I was super confused of why this was telling me I owed the school so much money. I was so confused because I had filled out all my loan papers. I had filled out my FAFSA. I was told at SOAR everything was covered. So I was super confused. I didn't know what was going on. So I got really down and I was like, okay, this is something, this is something telling me something. And in the end, I think it was just telling me that I had to try a little harder to figure out, how everything works, because I'm new to this. I've never watched videos on how to make sure everything's settled for college or anything. I've never done anything like that. And so I think it was really just trying to tell me that I have to try harder, because I never contacted my financial advisor. I never did. For some reason, I kept putting it off. Again, I was afraid of being I was afraid to feel like I didn't know what was going on and everybody else did. But that's completely okay, and I didn't recognize that, because honestly, in the adult world, nobody cares. Nobody cares or at least most people don't care if you don't know what you're doing. Like, they care whether you choose to learn how to do it or to not learn how to do it. That's what separates you from everybody. That's what they care about. They don't care if you know how to do it. They care if you choose to learn how to do it. That's what everybody notices, and they watch out for that. Are you choosing to learn how to do something? Whether it's as simple as, are you choosing to learn how to fix a vacuum cleaner? Are you choosing to learn how to count a drawer in a supervisory role at a restaurant? Are you choosing to figure out how to get your school paid for? So rather than contacting my financial advisor like a responsible person who was prepared and would have learned these lessons already if they had contacted their school, I continued to try to fiddle with it on my own. So after about a week, I was like, oh my God, I have to ask somebody for help. So finally, I asked Lantea for help and a close friend of mine, and I finally figured it out. Now, I ended up having to accept my loans. And I didn't know that that was something that you had to do. Like, I didn't know that you had to go in and accept your loans, entrance counseling and the promissory note. It all sounds like that's okay things that you have to do. But nobody talks about, like, accepting alone. But it makes sense, because if I ask somebody to dinner, they're gonna say, yes, I accept your offer, or no, I decline your offer. And if they never answer me, I'm gonna assume that they don't want to go to dinner. So it makes sense that you would have to accept it, but it's not something that I knew about. And if I just would have contacted my advisor, they would have been able to tell me, yeah, you have to go in and you have to accept this loan. I never knew that. It took me a week to figure it out. A week of panic and self-doubt and worry that I wasn't going to be able to go to college. That was a scary time for me. I was so scared. I had so much self-doubt. I kept telling myself over and over and over and over again that I wasn't going to be able to go. But I finally figured it out. We finally got it settled, and everything is fine. And it just took me asking someone for help. So if you're scared to talk to somebody, or you're scared to talk to somebody of a position of power like your advisors, talk to somebody who is on the same level as you. You know, all of your peers aren't going to know what's going on, and they're not going to act like they do. So maybe if you guys can get together and try to figure it out, you don't have to feel so scared of not knowing what you're going to do. It was a mistake in the end to not work and stress myself out even more, on top of feeling nervous about switching majors and not going to my advisors and having to try to do everything on my own because I was scared to go to my advisors, and dealing with my self-doubt and my lack of confidence in myself, not being able to figure out my loans. I didn't need the stress of how I was going to buy decorations for my dorm. I didn't need that. It wasn't something that I needed to add to my plate. I had already had a full plate, and it was like I was just overflowing. It's like I broke the plate in half, and I didn't need that stress in my life. But I put it there. I chose to put it there. And maybe if I had seen a video like this one, I would be more prepared, and I would have been able to be a little less stressful. So I hope that somebody sees this. I hope that they are prepared for the anxieties that come before you go to school, because it's not all about the first day. It's not all about panicking about if you're going to find your classes. Sometimes it's about, how am I going to afford this? But you can afford it. You can figure it out. It can work. If you want to do it, you set your mind to it, and you figure it out. You can do it. There are all kinds of options. If you've maxed out your FAFSA, or you don't get any FAFSA, and you've maxed out your unsubsidized and your subsidized loans, I can't tell you the difference between the two. I'm so sorry. But, you know, even if you've done that, you can take personal loans. I wish that I would have talked to myself now. I wish that I would have let myself know that people aren't as bad as you think, and it's a scary thing to walk into, because nobody knows how it's really going to go. It doesn't matter how many videos you watch or how much time you get to dedicate to researching a college. You don't know how anything's going to go. Everybody is always lost. There's just something that's going to get in the way every single time, and you can't give up. And you can't decide that it's a sign from the universe. Because like I said, I feel like mine was a sign that I needed to work harder at figuring out what I wanted and how bad I wanted it. So, have a nice night.